Miss Pat.
Ron Redpath.
Mr. Ron.
Hey, Jason White.
Mr. Jason.
Damn.
Yeah, sir. Good to see you again. Welcome back. Yeah. Good to see you again too. Thank y'all for coming back. Thank you, Mr. John. Pleasure to meet you.
Michael Olof Paulson was our dear friend. And with that, he had the friends here and he had the friends here. And some of us didn't know each other. And this particular yesterday was, other than the last year and a couple of years since Michael passed, that we began to communicate and get to know each other. But his story along the way, very inquisitive, very smart, very, he was the kind of guy that he explored. So I'm going to start at the beginning where my knowledge of him, and of course, the way Michael ended on his headstone, he was an aviator explorer, the aviator adventurer. And that was Michael. But as a young lad walking the streets where he grew up, he told me about this time that he saw a billboard. Now this is a cold, cold winter, no leaves, nothing green, and there's a billboard that's got palm trees and it's got a beach somewhere in either Florida or the Caribbean or somewhere, but he knew it wasn't where he lived, and he said he wanted to live, and he thought of America. America became his goal. He loved where he came from, but he fell in love with America and what America stands for. And Michael had a vision, and he stayed to his vision. So young people, whether it's being an aviator, whether it's a professional, a farmer, or anything that is doing the right thing, honest, hard work, but the tools of education, in Michael's education in aviation, afforded him to seek higher levels and do things. And there's probably not many countries in the world that he hasn't been or explored.
In 1963, the Delaware Wing hosted the Swedish cadets in an exchange program, and we had 8 or 10 cadets came over. Delaware was kind of important because the Swedes settled Newcastle, Delaware. And the cadets were farmed out to local families of CP members. We got Mike. Could have been somebody else, but we got Mike, and he stayed with us, I don't know, 3 or 4 days.
And he was determined that he would come back. As Ron said, he lived with our parents when he came back for a while. Our dad sponsored him to come to America. And once he got on his feet, as Ron said, kind of went off on his own. He was flying all the time, anything that he could to build his hours, and eventually became a commercial captain for the airlines. Had the time in Saudi with that airline also. Mike was quite an interesting man. He traveled the world, as we've been saying, first for his job and then later just for the love of exploring new places and learning new bits of history. Mike had very many particular likes, and I want to give you the personal side. He liked the big band music from World War II. He liked traveling. He liked books. He liked hats and helmets. You'll see, I brought a book that I made about Mike, so you'll see some of his things. He liked the home that he designed and built on the beach on Cape San Blas. He liked museums. He liked his cat. He liked his garden. He liked the freedom he found in this country. He liked telling his stories about flying, and some of them were real doozies. He liked cooking, especially his crabs and oysters, living on the Gulf of Mexico. He liked eating his dinner on his deck overlooking the Gulf of Mexico. He liked living his life to the fullest, and he liked his friends who became his family.
So I'm going to say, well, we are in the early part of this. What we're going to do here today, this topic will bring them. We're going to touch a lot more lives. And one thing that our tribe has always done is we've always taken education serious. that's been ever since 1887. You know, I tell people there was a time our people could not go to school with whites, we could not go to school with blacks. We could. We had no educational opportunities. And our people said we want to educate our children. And they did that, you know. And so $500 donation from the General Assembly, and somebody donated some land, and our folks went and built a building, and they took the $500 from the General Assembly and hired a teacher.
That was on the front of his house, all western, season.